Chris and Derek are back, and this time the decision has more zeros on it. They both just bought identical $400,000 houses, same street, same mortgage, same payment, and they both have an extra $500 a month, and opposite plans for it. Chris sends his $500 straight to the mortgage. Kill the debt. His dad would be proud. Again, Derek invests his. The mortgage can wait 30 years. That's what it's for. Last time, this exact argument was worth about $3,000. This time, the gap is $347,000, and the person who loses is going to feel like he won the whole way through. Let's keep this fair. Both put $80,000 down. Both borrow $320,000 at 6.5%, 30 years. The payment, $2,022.62 a month. Left on schedule, that loan costs $408,000 in interest. On a 320 loan. Read that again. Both men have the same extra $500 a month. Chris adds it to every payment, straight to principal. Derek puts it into a total market index fund. Every month. 30 years. Identical money in. Identical houses. At year 30, both own their homes outright either way, so the entire outcome comes down to one question. Where did the $500 end up? And here's the twist on last episode. This time it's Chris who gets the dopamine. Every month he watches the balance drop faster than the bank predicted. He's got the amortization chart on his fridge. He knows that every extra $500 goes 100% to principal. No interest, pure progress. It feels like cheating, and the milestones keep coming. The year the balance drops under 300, under 250, the day his loan crosses the halfway point years ahead of schedule. Month 216, exactly 18 years in, Chris makes his last payment, 12 years early. He literally prints the loan statement and burns it on the grill. The barbecue is at his house this time. Total interest paid, $222,000. He just saved $185,552 in interest. That's a real number. It's on the paperwork. And Derek? Derek's been doing the most boring thing in finance, $500 a month into an index fund for 18 straight years, while still owing the bank a decade of payments. At the mortgage burning party, Derek is the only guy who still has a mortgage. Everyone knows who's winning. Everyone is wrong. Play it forward to year 30. Both houses paid off. Both men done. Now open the brokerage accounts. Chris, after his payoff, did exactly the right thing. He invested his entire freed up payment, all $2,500 a month, for the remaining 12 years. His portfolio, $683,000. Genuinely great. Derek's boring $500 a month at the market's long-run average of 10% before inflation, same assumption as last time, grew to $1,031,000. The gap, $347,726 in Derek's favor. Sit with the cruelty of that. Chris saved $185,000 in interest, saved it for real, and still finished $347,000 behind. Because the money he saved was earning 6.5%. The money Derek deployed was earning 10 for 30 years. That difference doesn't add up. It compounds up. If you watch the car episode, you already know the machinery. Every extra payment on a 6.5% mortgage is an investment with a guaranteed return of exactly 6.5%. Not a metaphor. Mathematically identical. So the whole decision collapses to the same single number. The spread, market return minus mortgage rate. We ran it. If the market returns 6.5, exactly the mortgage rate, the two strategies land within about 2% of each other. A functional tie, 30 years, $500,000 each. At 7%, Derek edges ahead by barely $20,000. At 10, it's the $347,000 you just saw. Your mortgage rate is the hurdle. A 3% pandemic-era mortgage, prepaying it is choosing a guaranteed 3% over the market. That's not discipline. That's a donation. An 8% mortgage? Paying it down is a guaranteed 8%, and there is no honest portfolio that promises you that. The rule didn't change since last episode. Only the zeros did. Now. Last episode, the monster was a market crash. This episode's monster is quieter, and it goes after Chris. Year 8. Chris loses his job. By now he's sent $48,000 extra into that house. So he calls the bank, explains the situation, and asks the obvious question. I'm years ahead on this loan. Can I skip a few payments? No. Here's the thing almost nobody understands about extra mortgage payments. They do not lower your payment. they do not buy you a single month of grace. $2,022.62 is due on the 1st, this month and every month, whether you're ahead by $48,000 or ahead by nothing. Extra payments only move the end date. Until that date, the bank owns your first of the month. Chris's $48,000 is in the walls. He cannot eat drywall. To get it back out, he'd need a home equity loan, which requires, you'll enjoy this, an income. Derek loses his job in the same universe. His $500 a month is sitting in a brokerage account, $71,700, liquid, 3 days from his checking account. That's 35 months of mortgage payments. Derek can be unemployed for almost 3 years before he misses a payment on the same house. Same street, same houses. One of these men can survive a bad year. And the crash risk from last episode? Here's the honest surprise. It mostly flipped sides. Derek isn't dropping a lump sum this time. He's buying in every month for 30 years. A crash in year 2 barely dents him. He ends at $978,000 instead of $1 million, because most of his money hadn't even arrived yet. Chris sleeps through that crash entirely. His money's in drywall. The dangerous crash for Derek is the one at the end, when the pile is big. A 30% drop in year 25 costs him $350,000. But run the full ugly universe and, at historical average returns, he still finishes ahead of Chris by $157,000. Sequence risk didn't disappear. It moved to the end, and it shrank the win. It didn't flip it. If I stopped here, I'd be every finance channel telling you never to prepay a mortgage. So here's the honest other side. And one myth that needs to die on the way. First, the myth. Don't pay it off. You'll lose the tax deduction. For about 90% of Americans, the mortgage interest deduction is worth exactly $0. Since 2018, the standard deduction is so large that most people never itemize at all. If you're not itemizing, there is no deduction to lose. Check which one you are before this argument moves a single dollar. Now the real cases for Chris. 1. The rate. Everything above assumed 6.5. If your mortgage is at 8, prepaying is a guaranteed after-tax 8% return, and taking that over a hoped-for 10 is not just defensible. For most humans, it's correct. Guaranteed beats expected when the gap is thin. Same lesson as the car. 2. The retirement border. Entering retirement with no mortgage payment is a genuine mathematical advantage, not just a feeling. It shrinks the withdrawals you need in exactly the years a market crash hurts most. If payoff and retirement land close together, Chris's strategy quietly gets much stronger. 3. The behavioral truth, and it decides this for most real people. Derek's plan only works if the 500 actually gets invested, every month, through every crash, for 360 months, and never skimmed. The extra mortgage payment is self-enforcing. The walls don't give it back. The index fund has a withdrawal button. Know which person you are, honestly, before you pick which math applies to you. And priority 0, before either strategy. If your employer matches retirement contributions and you're not taking all of it, stop everything. That's a guaranteed 50 or 100% return, and it beats both of these men on day 1. Chris and Derek did what they did last time, inherited a rule and called it a plan. Debt-free as fast as possible. Never prepay cheap debt. Both rules are just guesses about the spread, wearing a personality. The questions were the same 3 as the car. What's the spread? Is it guaranteed? Will you actually execute? Plus a 4th one the car never asked. The one that ambushed Chris in year 8. If life goes wrong, can you get to the money? Run those 4, and the answer stops being a rule. It becomes yours. And if you're now wondering about the question that comes before this one, whether you should have bought the house at all, rent versus buy is the most argued money question on the internet. Both sides cheat when they run it, and the honest math is nastier than either camp admits. That's the next episode. Until then, run the numbers. All of them. If this changed your plan, or your team Chris anyway, and can defend it, tell me which man you are in the comments and why. I read all of them. Nothing in this video is financial advice. It's education and entertainment. Your rate, your taxes, and your life are yours. Run your own numbers or talk to a licensed advisor.